What's going on, Arizona sports fan family? How are we doing out here today on this Monday afternoon, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome in, come one, come all. How's everybody doing out here today on this fantastic Monday? Ladies and gentlemen, we're here to talk about our Arizona Cardinals, and yes, it is still been quiet. If you're asking yourself, why are we talking about Kliff Kingsbury, Mike? Because the Cardinals have done, there's been nothing to talk about when it comes to the Arizona Cardinals, but still, we got some things to talk about. And obviously, we ended up making a video last week about Kliff Kingsbury to the Raiders. Nah, that ain't happening anymore. So we're going to be diving into Kliff getting hired by the Commanders, and then we're also going to be diving into the possibility of maybe Marvin Harrison Jr. not being there at 4. There's a lot of mock drafts coming our way, and it seems like the Patriots want to play spoilers for the Arizona Cardinals. But we're going to be diving into all that here today. If you guys haven't done so already, definitely do me a huge favor. Smack up that like button on your way in. Do it for the algorithm. Huge shout out to the people that are currently in the chat. We got BBH, we got Brandon, we got Cards Fan, No F's Given, Classy, and Otis up in the chat. Appreciate you all here for tuning in. We're going to be diving into all today, ladies and gentlemen. If you do want to go ahead and obviously strike up a conversation, the best way to do it is obviously through super chat. If not, no worries. We're going to have a segment where we do dedicate some time to the chat. So let's get started here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's paint this picture perfectly. And obviously, real quick, huge shout out to the sponsors of the video, Underdog Fantasy, Foco, and brand new sportsbook, Desert Diamond Sports. Everything will be in the description if you do want to go ahead and support the sponsors that are helping you bring this content to you. So, all right, let's dive into it. So last week, we ended up talking about Kliff Kingsbury, right? A lot of links. Kliff Kingsbury is coming back to the NFL, yada, yada, yada. And it almost kind of seemed like Kliff Kingsbury to the Raiders was a real thing. And we ended up asking ourselves, well, if Kliff Kingsbury might go to the Raiders, then, they might want to trade up for a quarterback. Now, that still is a thought out there, right? A rumor that maybe they're going to go after a quarterback in this 2024 NFL draft. But no, Kliff Kingsbury came out, retracted his name, which he was a strong candidate for the OC job at the Raiders. He's pulled out his name, and now he has been hired by the Washington Commanders. Now, if you guys didn't see this tweet or whatever you call them these days, because obviously it's not known as Twitter anymore. It's X, formerly known as Twitter. But basically, this is from Peter Schrager, and he says this just in. Kliff Kingsbury has agreed to terms to become the offensive coordinator of the Washington Commanders per source. Now, a couple different reasons why this is absolutely shocking, right? Blowing minds. A couple of different reasons as to why. The Washington Commanders already had a freaking OC. They already had an OC. They had Eric Bieniemy, which was a multi-Super Bowl OC champion with the Chiefs, right? And I thought that they were going to look the way of Eric Bieniemy to potentially move him to the head coaching, position. But no. The Washington Commanders said, no, we're not doing that. We're hiring Dan Quinn, as their new head coach, and we're hiring for the OC position, Kliff Kingsbury, former head coach of the Arizona Cardinals. What? What is going on? What is going on? Now, there has been a report that came out about 3 or 4 hours ago pertaining to Eric Bieniemy, and all it says right now is the Commanders are working through Eric Bieniemy's status because he was the former OC of the Washington Commanders, and now he's kind of in limbo. We're talking about a guy that has always been preparing for the Super Bowl around this time, and now he's finding himself nowhere. Nowhere, right? Well, he's still with the Washington Commanders. Technically, he didn't get fired, but he's in limbo, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely wild. Absolutely wild. I don't know what the Commanders are doing over there. Obviously, I'm not a billionaire. I'm not the one making the decisions, but it's just crazy. I thought Bieniemy would at least have a strong consideration, or at least maybe going for somebody that would be more coveted than a Dan Quinn, but it is what it is. It is what it is at this very moment. Now, here's the reason why we're talking about this. Now, you're probably asking yourself, why? Why do we keep talking about Kliff Kingsbury? He's a thought, right? He's an afterthought. We shouldn't be talking about him. Well, a couple different reasons why. Because the Arizona Cardinals are sitting at the 4th overall spot. We all know as Cardinals fans that we would love the idea of getting a Marvin Harrison Jr., right? And of course, because there is a particular team that is kind of making us all bash our heads against the wall because we don't know what they're going to do, right? In a Chicago Bears team. And then we have now the Washington Commanders hiring a OC, which spent the last year with projected to be number 1 overall consensus amongst most people's mock drafts, Caleb Williams, to be a part of their squad. So that's the reason why we're talking about it, right? Because of obviously different potentials, different probabilities of, what can happen? What can happen? I want to make sure that everybody's fully aware that everything's on the table these days. Everything is on the table when it comes down to what can the Bears do? What can the Commanders do? Everything's on the table, ladies and gentlemen. And I think that's one thing I want to make sure that everybody's fully aware of, that Kliff Kingsbury's hiring is a pretty big deal. Obviously not to the Cardinals organization, but for the fan base, definitely something that we should be keeping our eyes peeled on. Definitely something we should be keeping our ears open, our eyes open, every senses that we have available open, because Kliff Kingsbury spent his last year with the consensus number 1 overall pick in most people's mock drafts in Caleb Williams. He spent the last year there, right? As a staff member in USC. I don't think he was the offensive coordinator, but he was up there in terms of working hand in hand with Caleb Williams. And guess what? Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? I'm not sure if you guys follow Caleb Williams on Instagram, but he ended up putting something on his Instagram a couple days ago, or it might have been over the weekend. Because if you don't know this, basically he ended up putting, what did he put out? My dog, congrats. He just put it on his story on Instagram. My dog, congrats. Here it is. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. There it is. My dog, congrats. So, y'all, this is going to be interesting, man. It's going to be interesting to see how this all kind of shakes out. Kliff Kingsbury is definitely somebody that has very, very big ties with the Arizona Cardinals. Huge ties with the Cardinals. And he might be taking a hand of and molding a new rookie quarterback. So now we dive into this, right? Now we dive into this scenario because we're starting to see mock drafts come out. We're now starting to see mock drafts come out. And the mock drafts are saying Marvin might be gone at 3. Now, although I don't want to believe it, although I refuse to believe that the Patriots would pull a sneaky one on the Arizona Cardinals, the possibility is still there, right? I don't blame them. I would hate them forever. Yes, I absolutely would. But the possibility is still there. Now, here's a couple things. There was a report that came out because obviously the Senior Bowl was not too long ago, right? There was a lot of hype, a lot of, talk about the Senior Bowl. And it seems like there was a report that came out that said, for the most part, a lot of people at the Senior Bowl has the Bears going after Caleb. Whether you want to believe it or not, that's what people are seeming to say out there. And I get it. There's going to be some Bears fans coming up in the chat saying, why? It's not my decision. I'm not saying that. Just don't shoot the messenger. I'm just giving you guys the information that I'm hearing out there. A lot of people have been talking about it, especially in the Senior Bowl, and they're saying that it most likely will be the Bears picking up Caleb Williams. Now, that doesn't rule out the idea that the Commanders can still get them, right? Now, I don't see the Bears getting Marvin Harrison Jr. at number 1 overall. If they do, I would be shocked. Shocked if they go after Marvin Harrison Jr. at 1. Can it happen? Yes. Would it be foolish for them? Yes. Because what an opportunity. You're sitting at number 1. If you feel like Justin Fields is your guy, you probably want to trade back to 2 teams in the top 3, right? Whether it's the Commanders or whether it's the Patriots. You got to make a decision there. And obviously, unfortunately, they would be able to pick up Marvin Harrison Jr. right before the Arizona Cardinals at 4. So, if they were smart, they would do that. I don't see them going after number 1. But to me, I've said this, and I'm going to stand on my soapbox. It makes so much sense to go after Caleb as a Bears organization. If you're going to sit here and tell me that Justin Fields and Caleb Williams are one and the same, or this guy have more potential than this guy might have, right? Okay. But in the grand scheme of things here, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about a rookie contract. A rookie contract is one of the most luxurious things you can have in terms of building out your roster. You might as well start over if you feel like they're pretty similar. I personally don't think so. I think Caleb Williams is better than Justin Fields personally, but I get it. Sometimes it might take longer for some quarterbacks to really get to the level that, we all want them to be, but that's what I feel like they should do. That's what I feel like they should do. But now we have a mock draft come out here, and they did say that Marvin Harrison Jr. might go at 3. So this is going to be the constant talking point from here on to the end of the 2024 NFL draft. This is going to be the biggest talking point. Is Marvin going to be there at 4? Now, to me, in my crazy head, I can't imagine the Patriots not going after a quarterback and starting over, right? I've said this multiple times. Mac Jones ain't it. Zappy ain't it. You're going to get a ultra-talented wide receiver for what? For nobody to throw the ball to? I don't know. I just seem it's very, very, I don't know. A bad look. Now I get it. The Cardinals, when we drafted Larry Fitzgerald, I get it. But I don't know. I feel like they got to go quarterback. I still feel like it's quarterback. And then obviously the Cardinals picking at 4. I'm still going to ride on my soapbox, but I'm not going to lie to you. There's a lot of people out there saying otherwise. So it's one of those things where we just got to have to wait it out and see exactly what happens here for obviously who falls to number 4 for the Cardinals in the grand scheme of things. So let's see. Let's see what happens. But big shocking news that came out here over the weekend is that Kliff Kingsbury has now accepted a position with the Washington Commanders. He is now in as an OC. We got him as an OC. We got Dan Quinn as their new head coach, and it leaves Eric Bieniemy as the odd man out. And it's crazy because Eric Bieniemy last year, everybody was talking about him most likely trending in the right direction to get a head coaching job. How the NFL has changed from literally one year to the next. It's absolutely wild to see what we're seeing right now, because I thought he would have had more strong consideration to be a head coach. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know what they're going to do with Eric Bieniemy. I did see someone earlier in the chat saying maybe the Cardinals can go after him. I don't see the Arizona Cardinals going after Eric Bieniemy. I feel like we feel like we're good. There's no sense that the Cardinals have any urgency to make any changes right now. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Jonathan, what's up, brother? Man, it's been an absolute while since I've seen you. I appreciate you for being here. I know you're always coming on to the streams. Thank you so very much, brother. Appreciate you for commenting. He says this: are you renewing your season tickets right now? As of right now, you're asking me, probably not, but anything can change in about weeks or in a month away. I have been speaking to the Cardinals people that deal with the season tickets. Right now, it's a no, but it can change in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, because I love the idea of giving away tickets, especially to channel members. I love the idea of obviously spreading the wealth and sending people to the Cardinals game. As long as you got to be subscribed, that's it. So it's being floated around, but right now, since you're asking, I'm going to say no, but I'm not leaving it a hard no right now. Hopefully that makes sense. So yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. It absolutely is crazy, ladies and gentlemen. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Kliff Kingsbury going to the Commanders. That's shocking to me, yo. That's absolutely shocking to me. I don't know about you, but that's super, super shocking, especially because Eric Bieniemy was never fired. He's just kind of there. He's just kind of there. Just kind of there. All right, let's read the comments and see what you guys have to say. Somebody in the chat says, did you talk to JG? I did not talk to JG. No, I didn't. I know that Jonathan Gannon was getting on some calls to try to get people to renew their tickets. And I'm not going to lie to you, ladies and gentlemen. I never said this on a live stream, but the person that told me that trying to get me to re-sign my ticket, they seem like they're very, very trying everything they possibly can to get people to renew these tickets. Like, yeah, it seems like they're really pushing everything they possibly can to get people to renew these tickets. Here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. This is probably one of the lowest engagements I have had on YouTube, right, since we've been out, right? And I get it. The Cardinals have done nothing to coveted excitement, right? I get it. We got two back-to-back four win seasons. I get it. It's not a good look, but yeah, the Cardinals organization right now, the way that the lady described to me that trying to get me to re-sign these tickets is they're doing everything they possibly can, to get people to get fans in the seats again. Everything. It's not rocket science. It's not rocket science, ladies and gentlemen. You got to win. That's it. Win brings people in the seats. Winning gets people excited. That is just simple as that. It's not rocket science. Now, did I tell that to that lady? I might have. But I mean, we'll see. Yeah, somebody in the chat, get me excited, then I'll go. You're not the only one. You're not the only one that feels that way, Raphael. Because, like I said, the level of how that lady was talking, it almost kind of seems like, yeah, they're hurting. They're hurting for people to get into the seats, or at least season tickets, right? At least season tickets, anyways. That's what it seemed like. But get JG on the phone. You might get somebody to get those. But we'll see, man. We'll see what happens. We'll see. Somebody in the chat says this upcoming season is a peak opportunity to create lifelong fans. I agree. Well, I mean, we've said this before, right? And I kind of feel like there's certain years where you can really make yourself a big name in the desert, right? A big name in the desert here in the Valley of Sports, right? We got the Suns, we got the Diamondbacks, we got the Cardinals, and we got the Coyotes. We got all four teams in all major sportings out there, right? We got them all here. So are we a little spoiled? Yes, because I understand that it's really easy that if the Suns are doing good, you could turn off the Cardinals and focus on that, right? Some people don't have the luxury that we have here, but it's not hard. It's not rocket science. Just freaking win. That's all you got to do. You win, you get people excited. As simple as that. Then you don't have to beg people to try to buy season tickets. They were super affordable. So it's not like I couldn't afford them. I told them straight up. I was like, I want to see what you guys do. I want to see what you guys do in free agency. As simple as that. I don't care if I have to pay more. I want to see what you have to do in free agency. Simple as that. Are you going to win? Are you going to go for trying to win? Or are we going to put lipstick on a pig and call it another rebuild? No, I want to see what you guys do. That's what I told them straight up. I'm like, I'm not lying. I want to see what you guys do. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I know there's a lot of excitement, right? Year 2 of Monty Ossenfort, year 2 of JG, but it still needs to translate to wins at the grand scheme of things. It still needs to translate to wins. So moral victories can only give us so much, but I'm still stoked. I'm still stoked about this next coming year. So let's do this. Let's continue to talk about here exactly what's been going on here in the world of the NFL, and obviously what happened over the weekend. And it is that Kliff Kingsbury has now accepted a job here as the offensive coordinator as the Washington Commanders. Now, we've talked about this verbatim, right? We've said right on here that it would be foolish. It would be foolish for the Bears to not go after Caleb Williams, or at least that's what I said, right? But now that Kliff Kingsbury is the offensive coordinator, he's now the offensive coordinator for the Commanders. Now that kind of leaves another option open. Now, do we have to be worried about, not worried, but now do we have to think about the Commanders possibly trading up to 1, right? Can the Commanders trade to 1, give them a boatload of picks to the Bears, right? A boatload of picks to the Bears, solidify their number 1 spot to get their guy Caleb Williams, because obviously it's Kliff Kingsbury's guy. They've been with each other this last year, and Kliff Kingsbury's looked very, very happy with Caleb. So now do we have to worry about the Commanders' possibility of moving up to 1? Because if that does happen, the dreams of this is over. The dreams of this is over. I don't see the Bears going after anybody else but Caleb Williams. Can I be wrong? Can they shock the world and still get Jaden Daniels? Maybe. Can I be wrong? Can they shock the world and get Drake May? Maybe. But no, I think it's Caleb Williams or bust for them. Or not bust, but it's Caleb in terms of quarterback for the Bears. So now that just leaves another opportunities, right? I know a lot of question marks out there. Now do we have to be worried about the Washington Commanders' possibility of trading to 1? Because if that does happen and we see the Chicago Bears trading to 2, then this dream is over. This dream is as good as gone. We all know that Washington wants a quarterback. We all know that. We know that the Commanders want it. But for the most part, most mock drafts had him going with Drake May. But now that this could potentially be a thing again, Marvin, please. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Now, Justin Fields, there's been a rumor out there saying that he can get traded away for a 2nd round pick. That's pretty good. That's pretty good for a guy who's only had 11 wins in 3 years. That's pretty darn good. Like I said earlier, if I was the Bears, I would take that opportunity. Get Caleb, restart it over, get him on a rookie deal, and then worry about trading away Justin Fields, get some more draft capital, then build around Caleb. Because in about a year, you're going to have to make a decision. If Justin Fields is going to be coming back with you guys, then you're going to have to pay him. So it's a lot of if this, if that, right? The dominoes are going to fall some way or the other. We'll see. But man, the Commanders going after Kliff Kingsbury, it's a little worrisome to me personally. Somebody in the chat says Justin should be a 4th round pick. Well, think about it this way. I get Justin Fields has had more time, but Josh Rosen went for a 2nd round pick. Now, granted, I think Justin Fields, people look at him with more of an upside because if he's able to use his legs, right? We've seen him make good plays with his legs. We've seen him make good plays with his arm as well. Josh Rosen went for a 2nd round pick. I would be shocked if he doesn't go for a 2nd or a 3rd. I think 4th is too low. If that's the market, I don't know. I don't know what the Bears are going to do. I really don't. But if you're thinking about who can get Justin Fields, you got to look at the obvious choices out there, right? There's still people out here that are going to want a quarterback. Atlanta Falcons, they're going to want a quarterback. The Minnesota Vikings, they might not bring Kirk Cousins back. They might want a quarterback. So maybe Justin Fields might be there. Or maybe Denver. Maybe it's too rich for Denver to go all the way to number 1 to get Caleb Williams, right? Maybe they might want a quarterback. Maybe they might settle for Justin Fields. I don't know. It's just so many possibilities can do this, right? So many this, so many that. It's nuts. It's nuts. Somebody in the chat, if Ryan Poles wants to ensure his job longer, he has to go with Caleb. Boom. I agree with you. I agree with you. It's the mindset. It's the mindset of we're going with the rookie quarterback. There needs to be time. I 100% agree. Because think of it this way. I agree with you. Think of it this way. If Justin Fields doesn't work next year, and Caleb Williams is seen to be a great prospect or a prospect that's actually getting wins, that's going to go back on the GM. I 100% agree with you. Yeah. Poles needs to look out for him as well. It would be smart for him to buy himself more time, get another quarterback on a rookie deal, and build from him. Justin Fields is only giving you 11 wins in 3 years. Come on. Come on. It's not good. It's not good at all. Not good. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Somebody in the chat says, I really don't see the Bears keeping that number 1 pick. I don't know if it would be the Washington, but my gut is telling me that the Bears aren't staying at 1. If they move back, I hope it's past the Cardinals. I hope it's past the Cardinals. For obvious reasons, right? For obvious reasons. I don't think I have to say it. But if they do trade back, yeah, it would be interesting to see how it folds. I still do think that the Patriots will have to. Well, they don't have to, but I feel like they should go quarterback. It's just one of a Cardinals fan hoping that they go quarterback. I hope they do. I hope they do. We'll see though. We'll see. I mean, we're getting closer and closer to the draft, ladies, and we got about 2 more months for the draft. We got February, and then we got 3 months. My bad. So we got February and March, and then we got the end of April. So we got about 3 months, right? The rest of February, rest of March, and then we got the end of April is when the NFL's drafts are. So speculations are going to be everywhere, y'all. Speculations are going to be everywhere. Reports, rumors, all that different stuff everywhere. This just whole Kliff Kingsbury is just kind of like that cherry on top of the ice cream, man. That's all it is. It's just another wrinkle to add with this whole confusing what is the Bears going to do, right? What is the Bears going to do? I don't think they're going Marvin at 1. I think that would be very foolish if they go Marvin at 1. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Got somebody in the chat saying, should they trade Buddha? I don't think they will. The concerning thing with Budda Baker, and we mentioned this on one of my last streams, is that Budda Baker this year, he's under contract with the Arizona Cardinals, but there's no guaranteed money for Budda Baker. So is there concern as a Cardinal fan? Yes, there is concern. Is can we retain Budda? He is under contract for the Cardinals, but there's no guaranteed money on his contract this year. And we've seen and kind of heard that Budda Baker is not one to mess with the idea of not having security. So was it a little concerning? Yes. Do I want to trade Budda? No, I don't. Do I realize and understand that Budda Baker can get us assets back? Yes, I do. I don't want to, but if it happens, we'll deal with it, right? We'll deal with it, and we'll figure out here what happens with the Cardinals moving forward there. But yeah, Budda Baker was wasn't he an only Pro Bowler this year? I don't know about you guys. I don't watch the Pro Bowl. I really don't. I have no interest in flag football. I have no interest in anything like that. I'm not sure if you guys did. If you did, cool. If not, no worries. The grand scheme of things, I don't care about the Pro Bowl. I really don't. It's just a week of buffer with preparing for the Super Bowl. That's all it is. Hope they don't. Hope they don't trade him. But if they do, we'll figure out what happens. Let's keep it with the chat. We got Julio saying it's not just Justin Fields. That whole organization is in shambles. That's true. No, I agree with that. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, the organization is going to need to make a decision. Bottom line, they're going to need to make a decision. What's up, Julio? What other options do the Bears have to trade with? I mean, everything. They got everything. Options galore. right? Options galore. Think about it, right? The Bears are sitting at number one right now. They're sitting at the number one overall spot here in the NFL draft. So you're going to ask yourself, out of this list, and this is the top 13 of the NFL draft, it's options galore for Chicago. Chicago can trade back with any quarterback needy team, anybody. And right now, let's say, for example, just kind of, sticking with your question, if you're saying who do they have to trade back with, let's take a look at the quarterback needy teams, right? And I'm going to put here we go. Oh, we got the Washington Commanders, one, right? The New England Patriots need a quarterback. Atlanta needs a quarterback. Minnesota needs a quarterback. Denver might need a quarterback with the whole Russell Wilson weird thing situation happening. And then Las Vegas, that's 6 teams in the top 13, right? And that's not mentioning that some people are talking about maybe the Giants too. I'm not going to lie to you. There's some people talking about the Giants. So like there's 6 teams already right there, right? With the potential of the Bears trading back. So like they got options. The options are there. It's options galore for the Chicago Bears. Is just they got to make a decision. Are they rolling with Caleb Williams or are they not rolling with Caleb Williams? I'm sorry, with Justin Fields or not. I apologize. So let me reframe that back. The big question out there is, are they rolling with Justin Fields or are they not? I think most people out there are thinking that they're going to, if they keep that number one, they're going Caleb. We'll see though. The draft is very, very unpredictable. Very, very unpredictable. Something in the chat says, Malik Neighbors, you actually spelled it right. He's the LSU wide receiver. That's very good. Yes, there's 3 top wide receivers in this draft. 3 top. Marvin Harrison Jr., Malik Neighbors, and Rome Odunze. Those are the top 3 wide receivers in this year's draft. You got other ones down there as well, and I know there's going to be some people throwing some names out there, but those are going to most likely be the consensus first 3 wide receivers off the board. Whether you want to say it's Marvin, Rome Odunze, then Malik Neighbors, or Marvin, Malik Neighbors, and Rome Odunze, just however you want to shake it. Those are the top 3 in this year's draft. So, yeah, and some people do say that Malik Neighbors is the best, right? It just depends on what you're looking for. Depends on what you're looking for, really, more than anything. So we'll see. We need Daniels to go off in the combine. I agree with that. Yeah, if you want Daniels, if you want it to be quarterback, you do need to have Daniels have a fantastic combine. You do. Because it just gives more enticement, right, for the Patriots to potentially get that third quarterback at the end of the day. So, yeah, I agree with you for sure. Something in the chat says, but it's not consensus like yeah. So when you're thinking of Marvin Harrison Jr. Compared to the other 2, most people are saying that Marvin Harrison Jr. is that, right? He's the guy. He's the man. He's the dude that's going to be that number 1 wide receiver out of this year's draft class. Facts. Absolutely. There's no denying it. You got a lot of potentials. You got a lot of good players still. But in terms of people that are automatically starting to say Hall of Fame, like, yeah, you're starting to hear Hall of Fame stuff. And I think it's because his dad, Marvin Harrison, and obviously he's Marvin Harrison Jr., his dad is a Hall of Famer, and he already knows what it is to be an NFL guy, right? An NFL player. He knows what the business side of it all is, and what we've been hearing in terms of who Marvin Harrison Jr. is. Like, we know who he is as a player, but as a person, he's all football. He's all football, and that is the deciding factor of, can you be great? Can you be a Hall of Famer? Or are you just going to be a good wide receiver, right? That's going to get the check, that's going to get paid very well, but it's not going to amount to anything, right? It's a big difference. And what we're hearing is that Marvin Harrison Jr. is all football. Business as it comes, he's all football. It's a big difference. So you definitely want somebody suiting up in Cardinal red. Absolutely. So, yeah. We'll see, man. We'll see what happens. Obviously, with this whole Kliff Kingsbury hiring and Eric Bieniemy being kind of out of nowhere, do I see the Cardinals making a move for Eric Bieniemy? No, I don't. I don't think the Cardinals are going to do anything drastic until maybe March, because it's been quiet, man. This January has been quiet. This February is starting off to be very quiet, and I don't expect anything from the Cardinals until maybe obviously March, because that's when free agency kicks in the grand scheme of things. So let's leave it at this. Let's all hope and pray that it's quarterback, And then at number 4, we're left with our creme de la creme. But I get it. We're Cardinal fans. We usually don't ever get what we want, but we're going to have to figure out here, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. We're going to close up shop. If you guys do want to sponsor, or if you guys do want to support the sponsors of the AZ Sports Fan here on YouTube, below in the description, we got links for Underdog Fantasy, which is daily fantasy. Every day you could play fantasy, basketball, fantasy, anything. Jump on Underdog Fantasy. Promo codes down there, as well as FOCO if you want to get any merch or anything for any team, right? If you're a Chicago Bears fan and you jump on the stream, or if you're a Commanders fan and you jumped on the stream, use promo code AZ Sports at checkout on FOCO, and you can get yourself 10% off. And we recently partnered up with a new sports book, and that is Desert Diamond Sports. That is in the description below as well. So appreciate you guys for tuning in. As always, we're going to be closing up shop here today. Thank you guys for tuning in. I get it, man. It's dead right now. It's the Cardinals, but that does not mean you guys don't always come through. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. As always, we're going to close up shop here today. All right, y'all. Have a great rest of your day. And as always, go Cards.